On this episode, we talk to the Human Rights Commissioner, Samir Samuldro. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Hashtag Celebrate Columbus Show. My name is Josh Burnett, and as you can see, we've got a special guest with us today. I'm really excited about this episode, and the reason why is because I believe our guest represents Columbus in so many ways. We're a very diverse and inclusive community, and I'm really excited for you to get to know him, what he's all about, and how he's serving our community. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. My name is Samir Samudra. I'm originally from India, and I'm living in Columbus for the last 15 years. Cummins is the reason I'm here, but now Columbus is my second home.
Very beautiful. Tell us a little bit about what you love about Columbus and maybe a little bit about your family.
Sure. Columbus, one of the good thing about Columbus is it's diverse and it's multicultural, and it has very humble roots, humble personality. If there is a personality to the town, I think it's humble, and I really like that because I think the values that Columbus represents, my values and those values, they align well. That's why I really like Columbus. So I live here with my husband, Amit, and we have made Columbus our home, and it's a beautiful town. My sister also lives in this town, and so I have family in the town. In fact, I'm the one who brought them, saying, hey, this is a great town, come on and live here. So she and her family lives here. So I have two wonderful nephews who also live in the town. So it makes it very special for me.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited for you to get to know Samir and talk about his work and service to the community. But before we do, I want to go ahead and read a quote that from J. Irwin Miller, one of the people that is most influential in our town's history and the legacy on really the world. And this sums up why we're doing this episode. He says, "The most important service to others is service to those who are not like yourself." And I think that that's such a beautiful quote.
It is.
Because there's so many differences between you and I, Samir.
Absolutely.
But we celebrate the things that we have in common.
Absolutely.
We are humans that matter and are valuable to this community. And so I'm so glad that we get to talk about that today.
Absolutely.
So why don't we go ahead and get started, and let's get into the show. Samir, what is the goal of the Human Rights Commission?
Human Rights Commission here in town, it's active since 1962, by the way, and
Wow.
So we are here for a long time. One of the key goals of Human Rights Commission is really to enforce the human rights ordinance that we have, and so what that means is really to create and build inclusive society, right? So where everyone, irrespective of their race, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, age, military status, irrespective of that, they have equal opportunity in accommodation, in housing, in employment. So really, how can we build a diverse and inclusive community and everyone has equal space or place at the table? That's really the main goal.
What are some of the things that you've been doing to ensure that happens?
Sure. So I have been part of Human Rights Commission in the capacity of Human Rights Commissioner, and what we do is we ensure that the Human Rights Commission office, the activities they do or the initiatives that they do, we support them. We provide guidance. We provide advisory to their initiatives. One of the really key initiative that I have been part of, which I'm really proud of, is this Human Rights Ordinance, where we actually made some changes in the Human Rights Ordinance to include sexual orientation, gender identity, age, and military status. And so earlier these were not part of Human Rights Ordinance, but now people who are part of that status, and if they feel they have been discriminated against, or they were having challenges in their employment, accommodation, housing, or even credit, they can use the Human Rights Ordinance to basically say, hey, I have been discriminated against because of sexual orientation or my age or my military status, right? And so we have added those things in in the ordinance. And for me, it's a huge step, right? Because it gives people ability to really value who they are in their full sense, no matter how old you are, no matter what your sexual orientation is, no matter what your military status is, just like any other aspects of diversity. So it really, when you have laws that are protecting you in your whole entirety, it makes it really wonderful for those individuals.
Why is the Human Rights Commission so important to this community and to you personally?
I believe in equality. I believe that people are successful, they enjoy life, they thrive in a community that is welcoming, that is inclusive, irrespective of their differences, right? I came to Columbus because of Cummins. After I graduated from University of Cincinnati, I got a job with Cummins, and I came here. And in 2001, when the whole 9/11 happened, unfortunately things were not really good for some of the individuals who are brown skin. I was taking a walk in that fall in my neighborhood, and there were 2 or 3 teenager boys who were driving by, and they threw empty Coke cans at me and my friend who were walking by, saying, "Go back, Osama." And I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. But that incident, Josh, really prompted me to do something for the community. Because one of the things I always believed, I come from the land of Gandhi. You must have heard about Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes.
And he said, "Be the change that you want to see in the world."
That's really why we're doing this.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what can I do that will really make a difference in the community, that will help the community understand about different aspects of diversity. And so I've been very active in the community in different social, work or different initiatives. And Human Rights Commission is an organization which really kind of, when I looked at what is the organization that is doing work in the space that I have a lot of passion in, the Human Rights Commission really, I felt like there is strong alignment, because they are here to make sure that this community is inclusive, this community is appreciative of diversity it has. And so that is why really I'm part of Human Rights Commission. They are doing amazing work, Josh. I mean, for those of you who might not know much about it, I would encourage you to go online and find out about it. I think as a community, I think we need to know about these organizations and what are some of the things that these organizations can do for you.
Yeah. In Columbus, first of all, let's go ahead and link that up right here. That's the website. You can check that out. But also, something that you hear, and I think we both hear together, is, Samir, you had a painful experience, but you didn't just either sit down and let it happen. You also didn't just complain. You did something about it. And I think there's an opportunity. There's so much negative in the world, but we can be a positive force and make an impact if we can turn our pain into a project.
Absolutely.
And that's what I see with you, and that's amazing. There's something for all of us to learn from that right there. Samir, where have you seen the Human Rights Commission making a positive impact on our community?
Josh, I've seen Human Rights Commission working with individuals and organizations whenever there are issues related to, or even need guidance in terms of human rights ordinance and things like that. But for me, I think one of the really big impacting thing that Human Rights Commission does is, I don't know if you have heard about arts and essay contest that they hold every year. And the real concept is to encourage our kids in elementary school, in high school, in middle school, to talk about what they think about Columbus and its diversity through essays and through pictures. And for me, that's really impactful, because you're not necessarily working with adults here, but you're really working with young minds to encourage them to think about diversity, to think about issues of today's world, and how they see the world through that. And it's in a competitive environment, right? So, and then every year Human Rights Commission has an annual dinner where they recognize these kids who are the winners through these arts and essay contests. And for me, that's really impactful because, I mean, there are a lot of initiatives that Human Rights Commission does, working with organizations, working with individuals. But when you are really working with next generation, you are really shaping the tomorrow's world in a way. And that's really powerful for me.
How can we as a community support and get more involved in the Human Rights Commission?
That's a great question, Josh. I think one of the one of the key things that you can do, or anyone can do, we operate in an environment where there is so much things happening around us. And so if you see, as an individual, if you see something is not right, something, someone is not getting treated well, or even something good is happening, speak up. I think we need to talk about it. We need to really focus on things where we need to improve and things which are really doing good. So I would encourage everyone to do that. Like, speak up, talk about things that matter to you, talk about things that are working well. Other thing that definitely I feel strongly about is get engaged. There is so much happening in our communities where we can use ideas, where we can use perspectives. So get engaged, right? I mean, there is Human Rights Commission, there is City Council. So there are a lot of these, city-related departments, organizations that are going on there. Get engaged, become familiar with how they do things. And third thing is really, this is something that I feel strongly, is diversity can be an asset. And we need to really start thinking that, because when you have diverse perspectives, when you have diversity around you, you are going to look at problems, or you are going to look at things differently, and that's an asset to the community.
Right. That's not a liability.
That's not a liability.
It's an asset.
That's an asset. Yeah. And so having that mindset as to, and trust me, it is you have to stretch yourself. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. Yeah. You have to stretch yourself, but diversity can bring so much joy to your life and to the community. And I want people to have that mindset, because it's a mindset shift for some. And I guarantee you, because I will tell you that I walked into this country with a lot of prejudices and a lot of assumptions and stereotypes. But what has helped me is to have that open mind and to learn. Yes. And if we can have everyone do that, I think it will be a great thing in the community.
And I think, Columbus, that's so vulnerable and authentic of you to say that you came into this country with how life had kind of taught you to see the world.
Exactly.
But the important thing is you can always learn, and experiencing people and letting them show you.
Absolutely.
It really makes a difference.
It does. And what I learned is when I was open-minded, I learned so much than having my prejudices about, someone who is different than me.
Yeah.
And I got myself so enriched in my own life, and I want everyone to do that.
Are you looking to host an event for your family or team? Do you want an awesome, fun experience for your guests? Do you want to throw a party doing something unique and creative? If so, Tri-State Artisans has flexible event options. Our events are perfect for private holiday parties. They're perfect for team building and to get your group energized. Simply pick your favorite painting, then schedule the date and time that works best for you. If you're ready to start your event, call 812-528-5748 or visit tsartisans.com.
And we're back on the hashtag Celebrate Columbus show with our guest, Samir Sumuldro, the Human Rights Commission here in Columbus. And Samir, we're going to play a game of If You Only Knew.
Okay.
And we're going to be asking you some random questions. So first thing that comes to mind, this will be fun, I promise. Okay? All right. What would be one word to describe yourself?
Happy.
Your favorite food?
My favorite food, I like Indian breads, naan, roti, chapati, any kind of bread. I'm all for it.
What's one of your guilty pleasures?
Guilty pleasures, fried food.
Fried food. Characteristic you most value in others?
Characteristics I most value in others. integrity. I really value that in others.
Nice. What do you love most about your husband?
That he's very caring and he is not shy of showing his love for me. I really value that.
Who is one person that you'd like to celebrate in Columbus?
That has to be Cummins ex-CEO, Tim Salso. I really have tremendous respect for him and the things that he has done for Cummins as well as for Columbus, especially in terms of diversity. I think he definitely is one person I would like to celebrate.
What makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? Seeing wonderful things in life and really small, small things in life, like small wonderful things in life. It might be just, kids' laughter or, elderly gentleman, really living his life fully. Those things make me really laugh and smile.
If you could trade places with one person for a day, who would it be?
Who it would be? I always wanted to be owning a restaurant.
Okay.
So it will be someone that is owning a restaurant and I want to sit in their shoes and see how their day looks like.
And this is a perfect way to wrap up this segment. What's one restaurant in Columbus that you would recommend to everybody?
What's one restaurant? So I'm biased. I'm from India and I like Indian food.
Yeah.
So Apna Kitchen is definitely one of the good restaurant in town. Other restaurant that I really like is Trebisher. It's Italian cuisine, really good fresh ingredients, and they have not paid me to say this. None of them, but those are two that I really like.
Well, Samir, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Hashtag Celebrate Columbus show. I feel like we've learned a lot about you, the Human Rights Commission, and really what makes our community special. Before we go, though, we like to have a question of the day. This is our way of engaging the community. We've had a great conversation, but bringing the people of Columbus in. So if you could ask them one question, what would it be?
I guess I would like to know from our viewers, what is that one thing that they would like to see differently in Columbus? It might be, hey, we would like to have a nice bookstore, or it might be, we would like to have an Ethiopian restaurant in town, or, nice grocery store in town, whatever it might be, right? What is that one thing that really you would like to have in town or done things differently in Columbus? That will make it a great place.
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to make Columbus a better place. And so if you would, please answer Samir's comment or his question in the comments below. This is just our way of involving you in the conversation. I want to thank you so much for watching the Hashtag Celebrate Columbus show. You keep asking questions and we'll keep celebrating Columbus together.